because you are still on Instagram, and
Yeah.
as we've spoken about, you're now on as yourself as opposed to on as Stella. But for someone wanting to remain on Instagram or remain on their social media of choice as you have, and still be able to have a fulfilling life and not become an accidental influencer or an accidental social media addict, what would be your tips for creating that boundary that allows that to happen?
I think disable the likes on your posts, because you shouldn't be sharing because you want likes. You should be sharing because you think something is worth sharing. I think every time you actively choose to go on Instagram, you should know what your intention is before you go on. So you shouldn't go on to just scroll or to just randomly like stuff. You should go on because you want to look at a top that you saw the other day, or you want to check out what your friend is doing you haven't seen for a while. And then another layer is, I think that you should only go on Instagram if you want to use it for genuine human connection. So don't go on, leave a flames emoji on your friend's dress picture and then not say anything else. Go on, put the flames emoji on, then text her and say, you looked really great in that photo on Instagram. Let's get a date in the diary. Because then it becomes an active thing instead of a passive thing. And I think that my main problem with Instagram was that I relied on it as a crutch. And it was just this sort of passive security blanket that lived in my pocket, which I thought I got good out of, but what I really just got was a rush of dopamine that I eventually overdosed on.
That's so interesting. Yeah, I love that idea of going on, posting that very easy flames emoji or like or whatever, but actually then following up that, kind of holding yourself accountable to that. Yeah, and that intention setting before you log on, how would that work? Would you sort of give yourself, would that be a rule? Would you have to pause before you go on, or write that down
Yeah.
somewhere? Or
Yeah, no, I think you just ask yourself before you open the app, why am I opening this app? And if you can't answer it, don't open it.
yeah.
If you don't, and it's so difficult, I know, because it's almost sort of like a knee-jerk reaction. You're like, oh, I've got a second on the tube or whatever, and you just open it. But you can train your brain to go, what is this for? Like, why am I doing this? And what else could I do instead that might be a bit more healthy?
And at the end of your book, you talk about, in Mallorca, often you will disable your Instagram or delete your Instagram for a few days at a time. How does that feed into your aloneness? Does it make it any better or worse, or how does that work?
Just means I read loads more books.
Yeah.
And I love reading books. And I think I'd forgotten when I was an influencer, I didn't read. I think I read a single book for about 3 years because my brain was constantly on Instagram. And as soon as you get rid of your social media apps, it just opens up so much more opportunity to do something else. You've got to make an active choice to make a plan that will distract you, because we all know how easy it is to just open it up again. And I think that, yeah, with that being the default thing to do, you lose out on potentially finding something else that you want to do more.